Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nithima. I'm a master's degree student majoring in pharmaceutical chemistry and natural products, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, Khon University. Today, I would like to present the methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus induced superficial skin infection in the tape stripping mouse model. Despite intensive research over past decades, infection remains a leading cause of illness and disease. The development of a new antimicrobial compound against the infection is necessary. However, in vitro testing is insufficient to confirm the effectiveness and efficacy of antimicrobial compounds. Therefore, the animal models has become the essential method and the standard tools for study the progression of several diseases and to evaluate the antimicrobial agent before the extensive studies are further performed in the clinical trials. Staphylococcus aureus is a gram-positive bacteria that is a pathogen in several systems such as the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, and the integumentary system. And the methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, or MRSA, is a Staphylococcus aureus that becomes resistant to the methicillin and other antibiotics commonly used to treat ordinary Staphylococcus infection. The MRSA skin infection can appear as an abscess, a small red bump, and boil, or the impetigo. So, the objective of this study is aim to develop a model of methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus superficial skin infection in the mice by using the tape stripping technique. For the methodology to induce the infection, the mouse is anesthetized and shaved on the back. To make an abrasion wound, the elastic bandage tape is cut into a small piece and adhesive on the 2 square centimeter skin for 10 to 20 times until the skin becomes reddening and glistening but no regular bleeding. And the skin was measured the transepidermal water loss, or TEWL, to reach approximately 70 to 75 grams per square meter hour. And the mice were separated in 2 groups, the control and the MRSA infected mice. To induce the infection, the MRSA was prepared by adjusting the normal sunlight to achieve 10 power 8 CFU per milliliter and then apply onto the wound. The mice were measured the transepidermal water loss at the day 2, 4, 6, 9, and 10, and the wound was daily swabbed to culture on the mental salt agar incubate for 24 hours for colony counting. And for the result of the transepidermal water loss, this graph shows you the TEWL of the control and the infected mice. The blue graph is the control and the red one is the infected mice. At the 0 is the transepidermal water loss before tape stripping. It's around 10 to 20 grams per square meter hour. And at the 0.5 is transepidermal water loss after tape stripping. It's raised to 70 to 80 grams per square meter hour. And then the TEWL of both groups will decline until the 6th day. That difference between the mean of the control and the infected mice was statistically significant. And the TEWL of the control was returned to the normal level comparable to the day 0 and the 9 day, while the TEWL of the infected mice were persistent. The colony counting was recorded from the wound culture on the mental salt agar. This figure shows you that the colonies of Staphylococcus aureus of the control and the infected mice. Only a gold pigment colony that represents Staphylococcus aureus was count. And this graph shows you the numbers of the Staphylococcus aureus colonies. The numbers of the colonies of infected mice had high abundance after the inoculation at the starting day, and the mean of the control and the infected mice were significantly different from the first day to the 9th day. And even if on the 10th day, the numbers of colony of both groups were not significantly different, but the lesion of the infected mice was still observed within the purulent wound correspond to the high number of colonies, whereas the wound of the control was healed completely within the period of the observation. So the conclusion of this study, the model of MRSA-induced superficial skin infection in mouse using a tape stripping technique is achieved, and this established model is ultimately useful and simple tool for examining a compound against MRSA for the superficial skin infection. And finally, I sincerely thank to my advisor, Associate Professor Dr. Kanokwan Jarukamjon, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, Khon University, and my co-advisor, Dr. Varanya Jatuphon Prasit, Faculty of Medicine, Mahasarakham University. And my sincere thanks go to the pharmaceutical activities of natural products using the pharmaceutical biotechnology of PanPB Group for the research grants and facilities, and the graduate school, Khon University, for the scholarship. And Dr. Sutiwan Thamawat, Faculty of Medicine, Mahasarakham University, is kindly acknowledged for providing the Staphylococcus aureus culture. Thank you for your attention.